Namaste and a very warm welcome to this practice. Today we're going to have a class which is invoking a quality of abundance in our lives, which in itself is an offering to make a deeper reflection about what abundance means to us. And quite often we contemplate this abundance maybe from a sense of lacking. There's something of lacking in our lives. But really, the invitation is to recognize that life is abundant. The natural quality of life is abundance. We just need to see how one seed can give rise to a whole tree, which then gives fruits with millions of seeds. So this is this quality of abundance which is really innate to life. And how can we translate this by recognizing that the same actually is here within us? And once we have this quality of recognition of this, then we can begin to vibrate with abundance, and it will naturally reveal itself to us. Okay, good. So we can just take a moment to close our eyes. And bring the attention into the space of the heart, being aware of the expansion of the heart space with each in-breath, and this closing inwards, this embrace with each out-breath. And as you breathe in, just open yourself up to receiving this quality of abundance. And as you breathe out, just allow yourself to let go of any obstacles that may be hindering this recognition of abundance in your life. You can bring your hands together. Slowly open your eyes and come up to a standing position. You can find a stable position on your feet and retain this sensation of opening and presence within the body and the mind. You can bring your attention now up to the center of the forehead and just slowly begin to drop the head from one side to the other, but keep your attention in the center of the forehead. Adjust the rhythm to suit you, keeping the shoulders very relaxed, relaxing the jaw. And as you shake your head from side to side, also just release any mental worries or any mental elements that have been causing either some discomfort or just impeding a sense of quietness and stillness for you. And you can begin to deepen the breath, breathing out through the mouth. One more deep breath. Reduce the movement of your head, coming back to the center. If you have any dizziness, keep the eyes open. Breathe naturally and just recognize the sensations that are arising for you. Good. And you can separate your legs now. Bring your arms up to the sides and really separate the arms. Just feeling how you're opening at the same time the rib cage, the sternum. You can feel how the shoulder blades separate. And then very slowly you can begin to move from one side to the other. And you can connect with this image of a very flexible tree, maybe a willow, moving in the wind. As you bring this same sense of flexibility into the body, and this connecting with the wind between the branches is a very apt image as we connect also with the air element related to the heart space. Opening without forcing. And you can do one more round. Coming back, bringing the arms down, bringing the feet together. With the eyes closed, take a nice deep breath and just be aware of what's rising in the body for you. Bringing the attention back into the heart space, where you can visualize a budding flower, maybe a budding rose or a lotus flower. Good. And now you can bring your arms upwards over the head, circling the arms backwards, placing the hands on the lower back and lifting the chest upwards. Come back to the center, bringing the arms back over and leaning down, folding downwards, dropping the head, bending the knees, breathing in, coming up, circling the arms backwards, lifting the heart up towards the sky, circling the arms backwards, folding downwards, dropping the head. As you breathe out, bend the knees. As you breathe in, lift up. Hold the breath, lifting the chest up. And breathing out, folding forward. Dropping the head, breathing in. Breathing out, bending the knees. Breathing in, lifting up, circling the arms round, hands towards the lower back, lifting the heart towards the sky. Breathing out, folding forward, dropping the head. Breathe in, breathe out. Last round, breathing in, lifting up, holding the breath, lifting the chest to the sky. Breathing out, folding forward. Breathing in, dropping into the bend, breathing in, just come up to the vertical position. Breathing out, dropping the arms. Relax in your center, be aware of the energy that's moving within the body, especially in the arms, hands, the heart area. Coming back to this visualization of the budding rose or the budding lotus, and just visualizing how these petals are beginning to open up a little bit more. Good. Separate again the feet. The hands can cross over now, just limiting a little bit more the movement in the upper body. And you can Separate your feet a little bit outwards and bend the knees just a little bit. And from here we're going to really relax into the genital area, just really open and relax this area. And beginning to mobilize in a very fluid way the energy in the hips, this watery element in the hips. So you can close your eyes to get fully into this practice without having any worries about self-image. And you can just begin to circle the hips in a clockwise fashion. Relax the jaw and the tongue. Bringing some movement, some fluidity into the hips, into the pelvis. Change direction. Come back into the center. Take a breath. And before you release the pose, we're going to open the arms to the side, the palms facing upwards. And you can just lift slightly the fingers, not the thumb, which is also this image of this opening and this flowering pose with the hands. And we're going to do a figure of 8 with our hips, with our pelvis. So you can begin, once again with the eyes closed. It requires some concentration to move in this figure of 8, which is also the figure which represents eternity. And just bring this energy in, accompanying with a very spontaneous and warm breath. Good, that's enough. You can straighten up the legs, bring the hands down towards the lower belly, and you can recollect your feet back towards your center, and just breathe into this space, expanding the lower belly as you breathe in, and breathing out down the legs towards the feet and towards the ground a couple of times. And once you finish, just drop the hands and be aware of the effects within this space of the body, but in the whole body as a whole. Just expanding your attention to feel the vibration of the whole body and what is coming from this warming exercises. Good. So we're going to continue now with a sequence of movements. So you can come towards the front of your mat. In fact, I'm going to do so towards my rose, which I picked for the occasion. So as you come, we're just going to really invoke once again this quality of abundance. And you can really connect this quality of abundance with gratitude, with being present, and this recognition of the natural abundance in life. And we're going to begin this sequence today on our knees. So you can sit on your knees and you can have the palms of the hands facing upwards. And just observe this receptive quality of the hands. You can gaze at your hands. And you can bring your thumbs in towards the base of the small finger. The hands are now slightly cupped. And you can lift up this mudra, this hand gesture, up towards the heart. And this is just opening the space of offering. And just feel the language of this gesture as you're opening up towards this new energy of abundance. And then you can slowly turn the hands downwards, keeping the thumbs in the same position, bringing the hands down towards the earth, just desiring for this manifestation of this abundant energy. Good. So you can open, release the hands, put the hands close to your knees, and stretch now the left leg backwards. You can just support yourself on the knee and on the foot. And you can come up into this position, bringing the hands together, but just opening up to form the position of a bud in the heart space. As you're there, you can separate the index fingers, which is this flowering gesture. And as you breathe in, lift the arms above the head, opening the arms out towards the side, bringing the hands back down, joining the knees. Take an in-breath. As you breathe out, put the hands down and stretch the right leg backwards. Settle yourself into the posture. Find some stability. And as you find that, bring the hands once again up towards the heart and just kind of adapting the posture to find this bud pose, this bud gesture with the hands. Separate the index finger, lift up as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, opening the arms out towards the sides. Bring the hands back down. Settle the palms into the floor so that you can now lift. Bring the left foot back. And just settle the feet towards the ground. It doesn't matter if you can't bring the heels all the way down. And you can push against the floor so you can lengthen your arms, lengthening the spine and lifting the hips up towards the sky in this full mountain pose, feeling secure and safe within. Good. And you can bring now the left foot in towards the chest. And you can come back out, lifting the left leg up. Let's repeat that. Breathing out, bringing the left knee in towards the chest. Breathing out, lifting the leg up. And on the final time, we're going to keep the knee in towards the chest. And we're going to cross the left leg in front of us so the outer foot rests on the floor. And you can swivel the right foot round to place it on the ground and therefore lift the right arm up. Take a breath there, joining the thumb and the index finger. Come back down. Place the right hand on the ground and return the left foot back. Lower the knees. Sit back onto your heels. Join the hands in prayer pose and drop the forehead down towards the ground. Take a few breaths there, releasing any tension through the mouth. In this pose of total surrender. Good, so we're going to repeat that last position with the other leg. Separate the hands, breathing in, coming up onto all fours. Breathing out, coming back into your solid mountain pose. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, bring the right knee in towards the chest. Breathing in, lifting the right leg up towards the sky. Repeating. And on the third time, keep the knee towards the chest. Extend the foot in front of you, placing the outer right foot on the floor. Swivel the left foot, lifting the left arm up. Joining index finger and thumb. Take a breath. Place the hand back onto the floor. Swivel the foot. Join the feet. Come back to your stable mountain pose. Drop the knees down. Sit back. Palms together, forehead to the ground. Breathe and release. Place the hands back onto the ground. Breathing in, coming up to all fours. Breathing out, coming back up to your mountain pose. As you breathe in, transfer your weight forward, coming into the plank. If you don't have quite so much strength, you can place the knees onto the ground and then bend your elbows, lying flat onto the ground, breathing in, activating the legs, the buttocks to allow you to come up safely into a cobra pose. Release. Extend your arms forward, palms together, and relax. Take a couple of good breaths. Place your hands underneath your shoulders, breathing in, coming back via all fours up into your mountain. Lift up your gaze as you breathe in. Bring the left foot in front between your hands. You can keep the right leg straight. Breathing in, coming up. And I'd like you to settle yourself in this pose, but imagine that you are actually standing in shallow water, in the shore of a lake, and that you want to celebrate this enormous, expansive body of water. So as you breathe out, bring the arms backwards and just trace your fingertips through the water, lifting up the water, spraying the water upwards as you come in. And let's repeat 2 more times, breathing out, touching the water in your fingertips, and in a very playful way, just showering it upwards. 1 more time, and this very joyful, playful imagery. And once you've done that, settle your fingertips on towards the ground and the palms push to come back, placing the feet on the ground. And once again, breathing in, coming forward, bringing the right leg between the hands, settling yourself, stability in the pose, breathing in, lifting up. Connecting with the water, again breathing out, coming down. Breathing in, showering everyone around in this playful, abundant, watery gesture. And when you've finished, you can just draw the left knee inwards, place the right knee on the ground, and settle back with the hands towards the chest. And you can take some deep breaths here. Just becoming aware of the effects of this sequence. And once again inviting this quality of abundance. And we're going to repeat this process one more time. So we can see that we've really brought into our body this symbols of the water, the symbols of the flower that's opening, but also this balance between giving and receiving, between effort and also surrender. And it's in this balancing of this giving and receiving energy that we can not only open ourselves up to generosity, but also to this quality of receiving, to keep this flow going, which is also what abundance is about. Good. So once again, drop the hands, look at the palms of the hands in this receptive openness. Bring the thumbs down towards the base of the little finger, cupping the fingers slightly, and lifting this gesture up towards the space of the heart. Still with a gaze on the hands, you can turn the hands downwards, bringing the fingertips down towards the ground so that this energy manifests in your life in a very concrete and material way as well. Good. And from here, you can bring the palms together, but with this kind of cupping position of the bud. Separate the index fingers, breathing in, coming up, and breathing out, coming down. Bring the fingertips down towards the ground. And you can stretch out the left leg, balancing yourself in this position. Yeah. Finding your base. And we're going to repeat this mudra, this gesture, from the heart lifting up and breathing out, bringing the arms down. Bring this leg forward. Take a breath. And then repeat on the other side, stretching the right leg back, settling the knee and the foot on towards the ground. And you can keep the foot tucked under if that's more stable for you. And bringing the hands together, opening the index fingers, lifting up and separating the arms with the out-breath. Good. Bring your legs backwards now, coming into your stable mountain pose. Take a few breaths here and really feel that you're pressing away from the ground, lengthening, lifting, and at the same time the face is pointed towards the internal aspect and towards the inner cave. Good. And from here, you can bring the left foot in towards the chest. Breathing out, pushing the left leg back up towards the sky. Repeating. And the last time, place the outer side of the left foot on the ground. Lifting up the right arm, joining the index with the thumb, taking a breath, and then coming back, releasing the left foot back, take a breath, drop the knees down, sit back, join the hands together, forehead on the ground, breathe out through the mouth and relax. Release into this space of surrender. Good. As you come up now, push back once again in towards your sacred mountain. As you breathe in, it's the right knee which comes forward. As you breathe out, just push up the leg. Repeat. And on the final time, once the knee is in towards the chest, just stretch the leg out, placing the outer foot on the floor. Swivel the back foot, lifting up. Take a breath in the final posture. Placing the hand back on the floor, stretching back, settling yourself a moment into your mountain pose, and then dropping the knees. And once again, honoring and gratefully surrendering into this pose. Great. Place your hands back onto the ground. Breathing in, coming up into your mountain pose. Breathe out, settling yourself there. Breathe in, the weight comes forward. If necessary, drop your knees down towards the ground. Bend your elbows. And activate your legs and your buttocks as you lift up into a cobra without forcing. And as you come back, returning once again to your mountain. Breathing in, bring the left foot between your hands. And really find your balance there so that you can lift up the arms. The front leg is bent. And really get fully into the imagery of this movement. As you breathe out, bring the hands down. Hands coming into the water. Breathing in, lifting up and showering. And this can also be a self-blessing. You can really feel that the water is coming over you and purifying you, as well as it being a celebration of life. Settle the hands down, coming back into the mountain. And with the next in-breath, bringing the right foot forward to repeat on the other side. Coming up, finding your balance. And once again, breathing out, dropping the hands down, showering this very cleansing water in a gesture of playfulness, abundance, and joy. Settle the knee into the ground. Bringing the left knee forward, placing the right knee on the ground. And just settle down. Bringing the hands towards the heart. Closing the eyes and just breathing quietly. Focusing the attention in towards the heart. And you can just allow any image to arise within the heart space. honoring that which arises for you. Great, so just relax the hands on the lap and take a few more breaths. You can even come down and lie to just fully relax the body, offering body to the earth, offering this inner flower towards the earth. Scattering the petals of your body over the earth. Good. So once you've fully released and assimilated the effects and the power of these gestures, you can roll over onto one side and come up into a sitting position. For the next pose, you might like to have a block close to you in case you should need it. And so in this pose, we're going to cross over the left leg on top of the right leg. Now this can be quite a demanding posture for some of us, especially as we want to just sink the left hip into the earth. So if this is a little bit difficult for you right now, you have a couple of variations. One would be to place a block underneath your sitting bones just to make it a little bit easier, or if this is too high, you could use a cushion or a folded blanket. And if this is still very difficult for your hips, what you can do is keep the right leg, the under leg, stretched out. So you can just work with one leg, yeah? So that's as you see fit. So regardless of your base posture, settle yourself in and really drop the hips in towards the earth. Good, and now we're going to lift up the right arm. And we're going to wrap around the left arm. And you can just bring the chin a little bit closer to the chest, lengthening the spine. And you can begin by just really bringing the attention first down towards the base of the body. And as you're squeezing together the area of the groin, there's this stimulation of the lymph, stimulation of the first chakra. And as you stimulate your root, there's this quality of rising up through the body. So be aware of the energy not only at the base of the spine, also this opening in the area of the sacrum. And slowly you can draw your attention up the spine until you reach the area of the dorsal spine, connecting specifically with the space between the shoulder blades that we're opening up. So be aware of the breath in the back of the chest. Be aware of the heart space. Come into a space of subtle awareness. And this lengthening of the neck allows you to be aware of the upper spine. Moving your attention now up the back of the head. Up towards the top of the head. Good. So you can slowly release the posture and just find a comfortable posture just to observe, retaining this quality of introspection. And observing also the warmth that arises in the heart space. And so let's practice on the other side. So now it's the right leg which is on top. Once again, just take your time to make all the small adjustments that you need to find the maximum of comfort in the pose, doing any small movements you need to prepare yourself. And if this pose is not very accessible, the left leg can be straight outwards, there's no problem with that. Lift up the left arm in front of you and just wrap the right arm around. Settling yourself into the pose so that you can find your stillness. Make sure you're not leaning forward, that the spine is really in its vertical axis, and you can just lift up the elbows slightly. And once you find the position, once you can really come into a space of stillness, you can drop the attention and the awareness back into the base of the body, into the pelvis. Feeling how this closing of the genital area is bringing some energy in towards the pelvis, the base of the spine, and this opening up of the sacrum. And as you sustain the pose, the attention can begin to rise up through the spine. Up towards the dorsal area. Really immersing yourself in the observation of the breath in the back of the chest. The space between the shoulder blades. Nurturing this space with your breath. Rising up the attention, up the back of the neck, dropping the chin slightly. Raising your awareness up to the top of the head. And somehow sustaining the connection between these two poles, the root and the top of the head. Good, it's enough. You can slowly release the pose, find a comfortable position for your phase of observation. Just being fully aware of what is arising for you in this moment. Honoring the warmth in the heart space. So we're going to come into a reclining pose. If you have delicate knees, just be careful with this posture. The ideal thing would be to have a bolster for this position. If you don't, I invite you to be creative, which means you can maybe take some blankets to roll them up. And we're going to place this slightly larger support for our back. And we come in front of here for this pose, which we call Supta Vajrasana. And we place the support behind us. We're sitting on our ankles. And as you come back, you can rest your elbows on the ground. Steady yourself onto the support. Release the back. And as you come into the pose, we're going to just really come into a space of release. And we're going to work with another hand gesture, another mudra, where we're going to bring the thumb, the index and the middle fingers together so that the fingertips are touching and the other two fingers are just curled inwards towards the palm. And you can open the arms and rest the back of the hands on the ground. Now this mudra, this gesture, is the gesture of Kubera, which is the invocation of wealth. So you can just close your eyes, and as you open into this posture, just feel the contact between the fingertips. And you know, this is a gesture, it's quite curious that this gesture is related also with material wealth, with money. And you can, sometimes we use this gesture where we rub our tips together as a gesture of money, which is curious. So we can just feel the energy of these three combined fingertips together. And you can just imagine that there's gold between your fingertips. And that this golden energy is coming upwards through the wrists, up towards the elbows, up towards the shoulders, up into the center of the chest, filling the chest with golden energy, with abundant golden energy. And that now this is slipping down into the solar plexus area. And dripping like golden nectar in towards the abdominal space. And you can be aware of the breath in the abdomen. And that this breath is fanning the gold that is held within the abdominal space. Sustain this for a couple more breaths. And that's enough. You can release the fingers. Bring the hands down towards your sides, settling the elbows under so that you can lift up And finally use the hands to push you back up. If you're uncomfortable on your heels, you can stretch the legs forward. And take a breath and just be aware of the effects within the body and how this symbolism helps the mind just to produce the desired effects within the body. Good. So you can come back now into a sitting pose. I'm going to take advantage that I have this big bolster here and use it instead of a cushion. Which makes me feel like I'm on a throne, which is kind of the idea. Good. So come back up into a still space. The shoulders are fully relaxed. And just bring your attention up towards the awareness of the breath in the nose. And as you breathe in very spontaneously, feel the air rising up through the nostrils, passing down towards the mouth. And as you breathe out, the lips are very slightly separated. And you can just allow the air to escape very gently between the lips. So that you breathe in, drawing the air in the nostrils towards the back of the throat, and very gently release the breath through the lips as if you were blowing, very gently. And you can continue with this, being very concentrated, very aware of the fresh air coming in the nose, of the warm air escaping through the lips. And in the space in front of your mouth, I'd like you to just imagine that there's a mound of dust. And as you are blowing, each time you blow very gently, some of the dust is rising. And as the dust rises gradually, it begins to reveal a precious stone. So you consciously direct the breath towards this hidden precious stone that you are progressively revealing. With the beauty and the warmth of your breath. And as you continue, all the dust is gradually blown away, revealing the splendor of this precious stone. So after this breath, you can now release the observation of the breath in the nose and the mouth and draw this precious stone in towards your heart space. Feeling its preciousness, its value, its attractive quality within your heart. And as you contemplate this precious stone within your heart, you can reconnect with the breath in the heart space. As you breathe in, there's an expansion of this magnetic quality of the stone, of this inner gem. And as you breathe out, just embracing it internally. Breathing a little bit more deeply now. Coming back into an awareness of the whole body. And with the next in-breath, you can begin to lift your arms up above your head, forming the gesture of an open flower, an open lotus above your head. And as you breathe out, bring the hands down, bringing the fingertips together, back in towards this bud. With the index fingers open. And I'm just going to finish and close this practice by chanting a simple mantra. You can just listen. Namaste, and thank you very much for sharing this practice.